Hey everybody, listen to this awesome riff that I wrote. Yep, that's it. That's the riff. That's actually what we're going to compose with here today. But I do believe that you'll be really surprised and hopefully inspired by how easily we can turn that into something that sounds really good. The purpose of this lesson is twofold. We want to experiment with the 12/8 time signature because it's the mother of all time signatures, in my opinion. You can divide it by 6 or 4 or 3 or 2. And I also want to just really share with you my composition strategy, my technique. It's a lot of experimentation. It's a lot of trying things out. And then when you try out new things and you hear new things, it gives you new ideas and you build on those ideas. But most of these things that I try out have a very solid foundation in music theory. So I'm going to let the music do the talking here. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. We'll do a lot of demonstration, and we're going to get right into it. First off, notice that this is our riff, and we've also programmed it in on a MIDI bass, and it just takes up 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you don't know that it takes up 12 notes, right? You might have heard this as 4. You might have heard 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no reason it's 12 unless we make it 12. So let's make it 12. What we need to do is we need to really subdivide. We need to group together these 3. So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That'll give us a strong grouping of 12. And to do that, I've just put in a kick drum here. The kick drum does every 3 counts. So let's listen to what that sounds like. That little simple change, and we're getting somewhere. Let's take every one of these kick drums and let's put a snare in there as well. I love it. Let's try doing a snare on every single one of those kick drums. Okay, that's a little annoying. That's a little much, but I have a solution for it because, you know, everything's happening together. What if we separate things? We'll keep the snare drum here and we'll make our kick drum a little bit more active. We'll do stuff like this, where it's hitting in between the beats. Maybe it's doing a few things in a row. All right, so check it out. Right, so much different. I think this isn't the groove I'm looking for, but this would work great for the intro to a song or something to build us up towards a guitar solo or enter us towards a bridge. So I like that. But you know what? Let's go back in the other direction because it's not my favorite thing so far. What if we put our snare drum on every one of these third kick drums? Now it would feel like a halftime groove. Take a listen. And I like this a lot. This is so far my favorite direction that we've headed in. So let's keep this for right now. Let's start thinking about hi-hat grooves. Let's try the simplest hi-hat groove we could do, which is just every pulse, right? We'll do what our guitar is doing. Da 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 da. And that would sound like this. Oops. It works, but it's a little boring. Let's try something different. Here we have an open hi-hat on every single kick drum, so just a steady beat. I'm loving that. Here's another fun option. What we're going to do is kind of lean into the halftime thing. We'll have a loud crash cymbal on this 1 and a loud crash cymbal on this 3. So take a listen. Nasty stuff, right? I really enjoy that. But there's a really another neat option that we haven't explored, and that's getting into hemiola territory. We've been dividing everything into 3s, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, 12 is also divisible by 2. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when I do little groupings of 2, look, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 6 even beats where I did have 4 even beats. That's the same thing as saying I have 3 to 2. So now there's hemiola in here. We have hemiola now happening within this. And let's take a listen to this kind of alternate groove going on where we're playing on a different meter. That's awesome. You feel how different, you know, like how enjoyable that is, but it's not really what I want. What I would like is just a little bit of this. So I just want a taste of hemiola, and what I'm thinking of is let's just put it in at the end. Let's try to kind of have this groove going here for the end, but we'll have everything else based in really simple 3s. So here's what I mean. We'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, He miolo down 1. So let's take a listen here. Right? I like that, and to support it, we'll actually have like the kick drum help it out as well. So that way we can really hear that if the kick drum is outlining it as well. We'll also put a crash cymbal in here at the 1 beat, and what that sounds like is this. Now, the next step, I think, for me is let's make this kick drum a little bit more interesting, right? It's been doing really simple quarter note stuff. Maybe we bring in some of those faster pulsings like this. Bum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, right? So something like this. Yes. That's wonderful. That's got a lot of nice symmetry. So since I like this so much, what we'll do is we'll copy paste it, all right? The second time, we'll make some small adjustments. We'll not make this a crash cymbal. We don't need another crash cymbal there. We could make it a China. We'll just put it back down here to hi-hat mode. And then at the very end, let's kind of do something at the end. Let's do this. And that way we've got like a little bit of a kicker, you know, something interesting there at the end. So it's not a total copy-paste. And let's listen to this now, what this sounds like. Right. And the bass dropped out halfway through that, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy what we're hearing here. Let's listen to it one more time, and then we're going to start actually changing the riff, because right now our riff has just been one note. We've got this far with just one note. We've only been experimenting with groove. So let's listen to our loop here. Yeah, this is... I like it. So let's actually take a look at what our riff is really doing. We're just dealing with a bunch of E notes here, right? And what my idea here, I think what would be fine is, I like it. I mean, I don't want to change it. Why change it? Because it sounds so good. It's just, do we need this much E? No, we could probably throw in like a scale run. So I'm thinking maybe around here. Maybe around here we throw in a scale run. And the scale I'm thinking of specifically is the Metallica scale. The Metallica scale, if you don't know, is just a made-up scale. And it's just, think of your minor scale, but with a lot of crap thrown in it, like the minor second, the tritone, maybe a major 7. You know, it's just a bunch of atonal stuff. I guess the only note that's not in the Metallica scale would probably be like the major 3rd, okay? Either way, so I'm going to do it even more simple on my guitar. It's just as simple as being like, I'm just going to play the bad notes. The bad notes would be like 0, 1 on my E string, 0, 1, that's E and F. And if I do that again on my A string, I get A and B flat. And then on the 4th string, I get D and E flat. These notes, this is like what every beginner guitar player does. They play around with stuff like this. And it usually sounds pretty bad. That's why I want to use it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use that semi-scale, something simple, just up or down or in between, and we're going to put it in right here. So like, let's just go up those notes. E, F, A sharp, and then D and D sharp, like that. So here's what this is going to sound like. We're going to have our note up the scale. That sounds awesome. That's just, you know, one note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just up those silly little notes on the guitar. But, you know, looking at this, what would be really simple is, instead of up the scale, what if we do down the scale? So same exact thing. Let's just reverse it, the exact opposite order. So now what we have is this. Up the scale. Down the scale. Oh, come on. That works really, really well. And it's as simple as an idea can get, right? So this is how I want you to be thinking, is like symmetry, simple concepts. We've talked about shapes and lines and story arcs before, but this is about as simple as it gets. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da up. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da down, right? That's like as simple as a call and response can get here. We're just implementing it in this metal concept. So I've gone and done it, recorded the guitars in there, and here's what it sounds like when we add the guitars to that. Really fun stuff. I love that. So I'll be honest, I feel like I've got a great riff here, but I'd like to show you at least one more variation, or at least where I'd be thinking, because this is something I wanted to do in this video, and I didn't really have a reason to do it because that worked out so good. Let's take out some of these notes. Instead of the rapid fire da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, let's get in like a da, right? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we'll put some in here. So my idea here is to put it on like what I would think of as my 3 beat and my 1 beat. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So now those notes have a little bit more importance, right? We're not just blazing past them, we're actually hanging out on them. So to record the guitar part for that, you know, I'll just do the same thing. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, and it turns out I can't do either of those because I found something that's way more fun. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. And what I'm doing there is just bending behind the nut, right? I'm putting my first finger down on the string before the nut. I'm bending it before I even hit E. So instead of getting an E, I actually get like an F. And I get to bend it down to F. You can't bend an E without doing a whammy bar or something like that. So that's what I ended up recording, and listen to what that sounds like. Take a listen. We've got this now. Really cool, really fun. So let's take a listen to what we've actually done here with where we started from, our humble beginnings with just an E. Remember, that's all we started. So let's listen now from the very beginning. I've kind of kept these parts as we've been doing through them, and we've arranged them into a full song now. Well, at least the intro to a song. Really, this is 40 seconds. And I think this is 40 good seconds of an intro. I would be very happy. I would be pleased to hear a song that sounds like this. Now, of course, it's not mixed. It's not mastered. There's no guitar solos. The performance is sloppy. Forget about all that for a second and just listen to what we've written using these very simple concepts. All right, very simple ideas. What can I say? I enjoy the way that sounds. I hope you enjoy the way it sounds. More than that, though, I hope that you watched this video and learned, like, oh, that's how he's doing it. I didn't write this, right? I didn't, like, have this grand vision in my head of, oh, I'm going to compose the song that I'm, you know, speaking through me. No, I went in with E, and I said, what can I do with this? Well, I can segregate it into a grouping of 12, and then I can say, okay, now that it's in 12, I can subdivide you into groupings of 3. Oh, that sounds cool. Well, what if I put a snare here? Okay, what if I put a snare here? Oh, that would be good for an intro. I'll save that for later. What if I put a snare here? Ooh, that sounds good for a groove. You know, I'm not planting my flag in something and saying, I found my riff. That's usually a bad idea. You want to be flexible. You want to be creative. You want to give yourself more options. I think the best composers give themselves many choices. They don't say, I found the right chord or I found the right melody. They say, I found one of many right chords. I found one of many right rhythms. And I think that's really important. Once you've found something that's good, keep making things. Keep trying out different things, different grooves, different scales, different ideas. And you're going to just come up with more options. Options that you could have never written. That's what's important. When you do stuff like this, you're no longer like, it's not about what you can think of. It's about what did you create naturally through this process. And a lot of times you're going to create things that you couldn't have thought of. So it's like digging for gold. You know, these strategies that I'm sharing here with you, these ways I'm manipulating things, the symmetry, the different rhythm, these are just like strategies I know are going to find me gold. And if I keep applying them in the music world, I end up finding music. I think it's really easy to write music using these techniques. I still think it's hard to write good music. And unfortunately, I can only give you so much advice on writing good music. But hopefully, this video does give you more information on how to write music. So I hope it was helpful. I hope it was enjoyable. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.